Good job. The only people left in the room are former Congressman Toby Roth and Frank Lucas, so we know how to identify them. Now everybody's quiet. And very well, Marie, but I'm Jack Kingston. I had the honor of serving in Roscoe's freshman class, and what a thrill it was. But it's not every day. How many of y'all have ever been to 100-year birthday? Not one single. Frank, you have? Okay, you're going to get the floor in about 1 minute, and you can tell that story. But it's just not an everyday occurrence, not only to go to a 100th birthday, but go to somebody who's a famous congressman, a beloved congressman, somebody who's a great father, a great husband, somebody who has all kinds of stories to tell about his scientific days. I actually went to, because now Roscoe, I can't talk to him every day, all that off-grid stuff. Just joking, Roscoe. Anyways, I went to Grok, and I actually did this. I said, well, who are the smartest members of Congress? And 4 people came up: Russ Holt, Bill Foster, Bert Ehlers, and Roscoe Bartlett. And but I don't want Frank Toby to feel bad. James Madison did not make the cut either, and he wrote the Constitution, so there was that. But Roscoe really and truly was one of those brilliant members of Congress who had an approach about everything that he always looked at it very thoroughly. He never was satisfied with just, hey, the car runs, take my word for it. He would open up under the hood and find out why it was running and how we could make it more effective. So we're going to have a number of people move in and out, but let me first, if you're a family member, raise your hand, and we just want to say thank you for coming today. Thank you for lending us today. And a key member of our freshman class, Chairman Frank Lucas, if you'll come up here and yield the floor. Frank is from Oklahoma, and we came in serving in the minority, but things started to change with the election of Frank Lucas. And Frank,
thank you, Jack.
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Rob. Jack's exactly right. I was a member of the 103rd freshman class, having arrived about a year and a half into the process in the special election in May of 1994. And a fellow by the name of Ron Lewis came then 2 weeks after me. And we saw the kind of change. And the class of 103rd, I think it's fair to say that Jack was a group that came in after 8 years of the old Democratic majority. A very principled, idealistic class full of some really bright and sharp folks, with a focus on making a dramatic difference, and depending on your perspective at the time, we did make a dramatic difference. The thing I will always remember about Roscoe, and I served on the science committee with Roscoe, was the analytical nature of his mind and the consistency of his focus. I can still almost give you the speech about the EMP effect on the nation, whether it would be a thermonuclear bomb or an act of God and Mother Nature, but how we needed to be prepared. See, Roscoe was one of those folks that some of the members who weren't around him a great deal might have thought, what's the polite phrase? Might have thought him to be a bit eccentric. But the fact of the matter is, Roscoe was very focused on the issues that he thought made a real difference. Every day that he was in Congress, but also the future of the country, and for that matter, it's the future of the world. And he zeroed in on those things. And it wasn't just the effect on the electrical grid. Jack, how many times has Roscoe discussed with us the eventual end of the crude oil supply in the world, and how we needed to be prepared for that? Roscoe was that kind of forward-focused guy. He was an awesome group to be on the science committee with. He was an awesome freshman class to be a part of. And I'm proud to see Jack doing well. I'm proud to see Roscoe at 100 doing well, because there's only 2 members of the Republican freshman class of 103rd left in Congress, myself and Ken Calvert. But we follow in the footsteps of the giants. We work on the things that matter. You know, Roscoe, occasionally Roscoe, and I realize I'm standing on his left ear, but Roscoe would occasionally give me advice about farming and all of those kind of things. There are a lot of times, Roscoe, in Farm Bill markups, I've thought about your advice. I'm not sure my constituents are quite prepared to live the idyllic lifestyle that you have led the last 37 years. We thought a lot about that. So, I'm going to move to Roscoe's right ear for just a moment and say, my classmate, my old colleague, thank you for the blazing the trail that we still to this day continue to try and follow. And I'm going to do my best to live up to your standards, because that means I've got 34 years of congressional pension to collect. Thank you very much, Mike. And I know that Speaker Pelosi is on her way, and when she comes, just, make sure we know. So, Congressman, Buck, you're going to have to wait because you came late, but our class president, Buck McKeon, just joined us. Kurt, the floor is yours, if you would like to say a few words.
I can't say a few words.
We're going to hold you to it. But one thing that's interesting, Kurt, among his many other talents, was very interested in firefighting. And those of you who've known Roscoe know that he has respiratory disease apparatuses for emergency responders and for firefighters when they're rushing in to burning buildings. They put on oxygen, whatever, and they can breathe. And Roscoe still holds the patents on a lot of those things today, so it's very apropos that Kurt, with his passion about firefighting, will come up. So, Kurt.
Well, thank you, Jack. I wouldn't have missed this event because during my 20 years, one of the members I worked closest with was Roscoe. He impressed me with his knowledge, with his background in education and academics, and I'm an educator also. But what really impressed me, Roscoe is the father of 10 kids. His oldest child's named Roscoe and his youngest child's named Roscoe. And I heard that, I said, man, this guy's a hero. So Roscoe and I worked together, and I got to know his wife well. We did CODELs to 104 countries. And we went to all the problem countries. North Korea, Libya, we met Gaddafi 3 times. We went to China, met the leadership in China, spoke to our National Defense University. We went to Iraq, we went to Syria, we went to every country you can think of, Russia, all the leadership there. And when you read the book that I'm coming out with in September that's going to shake this city to its roots, because they're going to reveal the people that are causing the problems in America, you're going to see what Roscoe Bartlett's real value was and has been to this nation. We're not in control right now, I'm telling you. And I spent 20 years here. And I ended my career not because of me. But Roscoe Bartlett is an example of what makes this nation great. This is a great nation because we have great leaders. The people that are here today are great leaders. Roscoe stood up. It wasn't just about technology. Roscoe was from Maryland, I was from Pennsylvania. Do you know that we formed a 4-state coalition called the Smart Region? Strengthening the Mid-Atlantic region for technology for tomorrow. How many are here from the Smart Region? You see this? We started it. 41 House members and 8 senators. And the goal was to bring together 618 universities and all of our academic institutions in the 4 states so we could be the leader of technology. You remember, Roscoe?
I do.
EMP, the first hearing was in 1997. I was a subcommittee chairman. And Roscoe said to me, Kurt, you got to do something about this. Peter Pride, who unfortunately died, and I won't say he died because of health reasons. You figure it out, or Peter would be here today. Peter was one of Roscoe's biggest supporters. You remember Peter very well.
Peter Fry very well.
Very well.
Office many
Peter
times.
pushed the envelope.
Peter Vincent Fry, doctor.
He worked for the CIA for 10 years, but he ruffled some feathers, as Roscoe and I did. And Peter's not with us today. Peter was the guy that led the effort on EMP. And there, how many EMP leaders are here today? Put your hands up. I know there's a couple. I saw them coming in. That EMP effort still continues. The work that was done by Roscoe is legacy work. And it's the kind of work that members of Congress are here to do, regardless of what they're being told by those anonymous people who have other agendas, whether it's personal, getting this, or whether it's people that have power and want to control other people. And that's what Roscoe was always there to go against. It was an honor for me to know Roscoe, an honor for me to work with Roscoe, an honor for me to go to North Korea and sit with him 3 times with the leadership of North Korea and face them one-on-one, as we did with leadership in Russia and with Gaddafi and all the other leaders on behalf of this country, not to make foreign policy, to confront them that we wanted peace. And Roscoe, I'm proud to call you my friend. I gave everything else I had up today to come down here to see you. And when the book comes out in September, you're going to be very happy. Jack mentioned firefighters. This year is we're making a big deal about the 250th anniversary of America. This year is the 290th anniversary of the first fire company. Benjamin Franklin, 1736, Union Hose. You know how many fire companies there are today in America? 55,000. They're the heart and soul of America. They're the backbone of every community. They're my people. I was a volunteer fire chief like Roscoe. This year we're igniting them. 55,000 departments in every town, and they're taken for granted. 85% volunteer. Roscoe knew he was a big champion of that effort. This year, we're coming out, we're going to shake the country with the initiative that we have coming out in the fall of this year. So I'm happy to be here. Jack, happy to be with you, my fellow Lambda Chi. Your great work that you did while you were in Congress, great member. And with, I didn't work that closely with Frank, but I did with Jack, but especially with Roscoe. No closer, and I'll tell you who's here without them being here with you. Our 2 closest allies on the Democrat side, everything we do is bipartisan. Sylvester Reyes and Solomon Ortiz. They went with us on every trip. Everything we do is bipartisan. No politics, all bipartisan. And they're with you. I told them I was coming down, and they said, please give our blessings to Roscoe and his family. Thank you.
I'd like to say something very brief, if I might.
Yes, sir.
Kurt Weldon headed something that I don't think he mentioned. Liaison to the Russian Duma. We didn't represent anybody, not the Congress, not the State Department, nothing. We just wanted to be friends with people in the Russian Duma. And my guy was kind of Vladimir Lukin. He had been ambassador here, so pretty high in Russia. I remember one time we met in an airport, and he saw me from quite a distance away. And he came running toward me with a smile on his face and his arms out, and he hugged me and gave me a kiss on both cheeks. That's a Russian equivalent of a warm handshake. I thought, gee, Grandfather Lukin, if our countries ever come to loggerheads, I'll know there's a really decent guy in Russia. He's going to know there's a Grandfather Roscoe Bartlett in Maryland. I thought that was a very important issue. We just wanted to be friends with the Russian Duma. I really, really like the Russian people. Not so for their leadership, but the Russian people are different. They're just different. They're great people. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
I would like to speak. Connie Morella.
Oh, Connie.
Okay.
Ambassador, you're looking young and sexy. You need to get out there. I can say that because I'm out of office otherwise. Connie, come on out. And,
Connie, you look like a teenager.
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Connie Morella is a great member from Maryland, and one of the swing districts, very tough swing district in Congress. And Newt, Buck, you will remember, Newt used to tell our hot-headed freshman class, and Dick Armey would say this, if Connie Morella can't support it, it will never get through the U.S. Senate. And she was always the bellwether, but then she went on to be an ambassador at NATO and did a great job there. And it's great to have
To celebrate. I could not come to not celebrate this wonderful 100th birthday of a man with whom I served for my 16 years in Congress, and he went on and served even later than that. So I wanted to celebrate him and all of you who appreciate the kind of work and endeavors and sacrifices he made, raising 10 kids and grandchildren, and he's even got great-grandchildren, and being involved with the farm, and he continues with his farming and agriculture, being involved with high technology. I mean, there are just so many elements, so many facets of the greatness of Roscoe Bartlett. So I wanted to come here to make sure that I celebrated him and that he knew that He's been a good friend of mine, a good counselor. We did not always agree, as you know. I represented Montgomery County, Maryland, and very often we were on different sides of some of the issues, but we were on the side of working together, caring about our county, our state, our country, and our international sphere. So I had to come here to celebrate, my buddy, and and there is a statement.
And we're very, very special friends.
I know, we really are. We really
Wow, thank you.
And you're looking pretty good for 100. I mean, I'm getting kind of close to him. I look to him as a role model, and I think I could say he is a man of sovereign parts, well fitted in arts, glorious in arms. Nothing becomes him ill that he would well. Shakespeare said it of you. So I'm glad to be here, and I thank you for celebrating him. A great guy, a patriot, a good friend. So thanks, Dory.
Toby, I know you're standing in the back. You have a few words to say? Toby Roth from Wisconsin, who, and I'm from Savannah, and one of the things, my locker was next to his in the gym, and he would always, anytime that we passed a law or did something that tourists were gonna lose, he was chairman of the tourist caucus, and he said, you in Savannah, you're gonna lose millions of dollars if you don't turn around, so. Anyway, Toby, it's great to have you.
Thank you. I was Connie Morella. She and I had a great rivalry because we had a guy named June Reed. And he said to me, there's someone I like better than you, Toby. It's Connie Morella. Remember that?
That's right, we did do that.
Roscoe, it's nice to be with you and all your friends here. And I remember these members when they were speaking on the floor, great speakers. I like to come back to the Capitol once in a while just to walk through and see how things have changed. And some things have changed and some things haven't. But I'm always remembered, I tell young people, when I was I'm an old man now, but when I was Congress, I was a young man. And we had a guy by the name of Tip O'Neill. He was a speaker. I know if you remember him. And Tip O'Neill told us one evening about a great home he's got around the corner. I have a friend in this great city that has no end. So he was ready to open the Congress, and I walked up behind him and I said, around the corner I have a friend in this great city that has no end. He looked around me, he's a big, tall, white-haired guy. Looked around and says, did you like my speech? Like the poem? I said, I loved your poem. And I was one of the most, Senator Brennan and I were the most conservative members in the House, and we always fought who was the most conservative. The point I want to make is this, is that Tip O'Neill then said to me, I'm going to open the House and I'm going back to the office. I want you to come back. When I came back, he gave me the poem and he said, when I was a young congressman, Jack Kennedy was a congressman before him. He said, I gave a terrible speech one Saturday night, and the mayor of Boston, Curley was his name, came and said, Tip, after Mass Sunday morning, stop over, I want to talk to you. When I came over after Mass, the mayor threw 10 poems on the desk. And he said, on the table, kitchen table, he said, Tip, I want you to remember these 10 poems. And when you get into trouble giving a speech, use one of these poems. You know, by God, I did that. It actually works. I was at a speech in Appleton, Wisconsin at a Lutheran seminar. And after I got done speaking, a woman walked up and says, you know, Toby, when you spoke, you almost sounded poetically. I said, better. The point I want to make is this. So he gave me the phone, and I walked out and I said, Mr. Speaker, what's the greatest thing you ever learned in politics? Getting elected. He thought for a minute and he said, the morning I was first elected, I came out of the house and my Aunt Millie lived across the street. I said, Aunt Millie, have you voted yet? And she said, yes, Tim, and I even voted for you. And he said, well, I thought you'd vote for me. He says, Tip, you never asked me for my vote. And Tip said, well, you're my aunt. I didn't think I'd have to ask for a vote. She said, remember this, everyone likes to be asked. And after that, I asked a lot of people. But that's the way things were done then. I mean, you would never begin to call another member a liar. You just wouldn't do that. Nowadays it's changed, but we got to get back to where we were. And that's why I'm here with Roscoe, because he's the type of person that we want to look up to, and the type of Congress we want. This is the greatest nation in the world, but as Reagan said, it's only one generation away from. So thank you for allowing me to say a few words. It's nice to be with all of you, and Roscoe, thank you. Thanks, guys. It's people like this, people like that, people like this that make this a great country.
Buck,
Speaker will be here in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Buck, would you like to wait, or would you like to have a 2-minute speech?
You can wait.
Okay. While we're waiting, I have a letter here from a guy named Donald Trump, and he says, "Dear Roscoe, Melania and I are pleased to join you and your family and many friends in wishing you a happy 100th birthday. Congratulations on this great occasion. Your uniquely American story is a proud part of our nation's history, and your continued strength and spirit inspire us to live with love and faithful abundance. We commend your honorable service on behalf of the fantastic people of Maryland and celebrate you on this day, and send prayers for your continued health and happiness. The President of the United States." And while we're waiting, we have another one. This was a long one, so we're gonna skip and jump. But I don't know. This is Speaker Mike Johnson. So where's Eric? I better read the whole thing. He loaned us this room. We could be kicked out if we don't read it. But dear Roscoe, I want to wish you a very happy 100th birthday. What a remarkable life you have led. That you are the quintessential American. I don't know why Eric put it in words I couldn't read. Though our seasons of service in the U.S. House of Representatives did not coincide, many friends and colleagues have expressed their gratitude to me for your leadership and your staunch advocacy of important issues such as American grid defense and conservation of our natural treasures. I deeply admire the conviction with which you stood on your principles throughout your service, even in the face of opposition and adversity. Our mutual friend Newt Gingrich said of Congress when he took the gavel, "Here America comes to work, and here we are preparing for her children a better future." Your 2 decades of service have undoubtedly left America's children with a safer, stronger, and better future. In Congress, I am proud to say this hallowed institution will always remember the inventor, educator, scientist, and American patriot who never wavered in what he knew was right. Happy birthday to you. Many blessings. Speaker Mike Johnson. Eric Schmidt is here on behalf of the Speaker, and Eric, we really appreciate everything you have done. And so I see movement in the back.
She's here.
Okay. Well, this next letter, I'm not going to read because it's from Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who can read it herself. Madam Speaker, come on up to the front. Madam Speaker,
Yes, sir.
come on up to the front. Now, the last time you and I were together, you were kicking me and Steve Colbert off the mall from riding a bicycle. And I understand you rolled that tape the other day.
You saw it?
And then you did on your Yes, we saw it, but that was another moment of fun here. And you have a letter, but we thought it'd be great just to hear from you in person.
Well, thank you, Jed. How are you, Roscoe, darling?
I'm fine.
Good to see you. What a treat to bring so many friends, bipartisan, present and former members of Congress to wish you a happy birthday, a 100th happy birthday. Well, I'll just tell you this because everyone has their memories, but the fun we had was traveling abroad. Remember trips?
We
Remember,
did.
We went, one of the trips was, we went to Israel, and it was for the anniversary of the founding of the country, establishment of the state of Israel. Remember, one day was very solemn, very sad, day of remembrance, and the next day was the celebration of the new country. And you should have seen him climbing here, climbing there, these, shall we say, I don't say they were bleacher seats, but they were, shall we say, challenging. But not for Roscoe, not for Roscoe. So he's been a dear friend. We share our Maryland roots, and I'm just so excited to be here to celebrate you. You've been a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Roscoe, for the opportunity. And I did send you a letter, so here it is. I have a lot more to say, but I know we're waiting for the cake.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Chairman Buck McKeon, who made his name as the Armed Services Chair and the Chair of the Education Committee, but to Roscoe and me, he was still just the president of our freshman class.
That's right.
They asked me to sit here.
You know, when I got the invitation to Roscoe's 100th birthday,
Yeah.
I was so happy. I thought, I get to see Roscoe again. You know, we had a fantastic class, 110 people in our class, 63 Democrats, 47 Republicans. And then we picked up 5 more seats in special elections. Frank left. Frank was one of those.
Greg
And
Luke was here?
Frank Lucas, he's still here.
Greg Luke is the chairman.
Anyway, Roscoe was the oldest member of our class. Richard Pombo was the youngest. Whenever I got to speak, I'd go home and you get to speak in all kinds of places. And I would always tell them a little bit about our class. I would talk about Roscoe. He had 3 PhDs, as I recall.
That's right.
He was a minister, but he was too young to become a minister. He couldn't get a job, I guess, as a minister. He looked too young. And then he got another one, And we sat together for a long time on the Armed Services Committee.
We did indeed.
And I loved to hear him talk. He always had my intellect is not quite like Roscoe's. I didn't get 3 PhDs. It took me 30 years to get my bachelor's. And then they made me subcommittee chair over the committee that was for older education. Great. One thing I want to tell you a little story about Roscoe. You know, sometimes we compete against each other for position. When I was running for freshman class president, we get in the room, we're gonna vote. Jack says, wait a minute, nobody's running against him. He said, I'll run against him. I don't want him to run without opposition. So I don't think we ever had a vote, but that's how we started our friendship. And one of the ways I finished it was with Roscoe. We competed for chairmanship of the Armed Service Committee. And we're sitting outside in the hallway there waiting to go and meet with the steering committee. And Roscoe says, I can show you something. And he pulls out this picture of, I think we were in Guam.
Wow.
Yes.
And he had a picture of my wife, my wife kissing him on the cheek. He says, I'm gonna go in and tell him she supports me. I says, that's not fair. Anyway, I went in right after Roscoe and I said, first thing I want to do is clear the record. My wife is supporting me. And that was, one time he invited us up to his farm. I majored in animal husbandry. I was the first one in our family to go to college. And my parents just wanted me to go. We didn't talk too much about what I was going to learn. And I majored in animal husbandry. I wanted to be a rancher. I had asthma all my life. Allergic to hay, allergic to horses. I just didn't quite fit the mold to ever get into agriculture. But he had a farm, and I loved to see his farm. And
That's right, we're there.
that's just a neat thing.
We're still there.
Still there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
67 years now.
I have a little garden. I grow zinnia, flowers, and zucchini squash. That's about it. Anyway, you're doing a fantastic job. This, having the chance to come here, enjoy with friends, talking about traveling overseas when we got to go to the 75th anniversary of the D-Day. I got to learn a lot about your husband and a lot about you from your husband. And you have had a great relationship, a great marriage, a great family, all of that. Her husband told me little stories. One of their daughters once said they had a problem, they weren't gonna be able to make it home for Thanksgiving. He said, you will if you're gonna be in this family. And she came, I guess. Anyway, Roscoe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
It is amazing. The press always is going to talk about the food fight, never about the fellowship. I actually had Madam Speaker, I don't even think you remember this, but I was sat next to you and Paul at something, at a Democrat National Convention once, because our law firm was there, and you guys were so nice to me, and I really appreciate it.
We were friends.
Yes.
Remember the days when we were all friends?
And I'm going to recognize that in a second, but I do want to talk about his farm one minute. He grows these potatoes, spinach, cabbage, zucchini, all the worst possible things you could ever want to not eat. And I was thinking about it, Roscoe, if you had somebody come visit you and eat that, they'd probably stop at McDonald's on the way out. But that's why he lives to be 100 years old. He's been eating cabbage up there on the grid. Marie Wolf, now I got Wolf on my mind. Royce is Undersecretary. Assistant Secretary of State. And her husband Ed is a freshman class member with us when we were all elected. And I don't know if both of you want to speak or come up here together, but.
Well, I can come up with him.
I'll just say a few words, Roscoe. As you know, if that had been a secret ballot and Buck's wife Patty was voting, she would have voted for you. And that's why we want secret ballots. But I will say, Roscoe, there's a lot to the fact that you ate right. And you also, as a scientist, you knew a lot of answers, especially on the science committee.
Yes.
My first 2 years was with you on the science committee.
Nancy was the chair of my subcommittee.
Yes.
Connie
Connie was the chair. Of Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K. You
Yeah.
prepare us for Y2K.
That's a while ago.
A few years back. But what I also want to say is that you brought that same scientific mind when we went to Russia and when we went to Moldova, and it was an interesting time because we were witnessing history in the making, right? Right, Kurt? We were, there at a very crucial time
We had people wanting to meet with us who had been involved in things like their secret mission to develop certain weaponry, and we turned all of that information over. But the analysis that you brought, and I remember Ellen listening carefully as we would speak with them in the Duma, and Ellen would say, "Watch out, Roscoe, they're just trying to play a rope-a-dope on us here." Roscoe's capabilities in argument and in logic were well displayed throughout that Codell and throughout your entire service in Congress. And just as a friend, I want to say happy birthday. 100 is a real milestone.
Yeah.
And if anybody was going to make it, we're glad it was you.
I just want to say one word. So I've had a busy career and a congressional spouse, and I didn't have an opportunity to go on a lot of Codells early on. But I definitely remember that trip to Russia. I remember the admiration I had for you, Congressman, and your wife. I admire you. I also say and I just want to say it's incredibly fitting that you would be having your birthday in the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. It's an honor to be here and also to see everyone that is here. So I just want to give you one more big round of applause and say happy birthday to you.
Thank you, thank you.
That's gonna wind us up almost. Debbie, I want to recognize you. Raise your hand. This is the woman who made it all possible. You did a great job. And I get this feeling I'm about to receive instructions. But I do want to say this. Or do you want me to say something else?
I just wanted to say, we also have some of our staff here that we
Oh,
had 20
yeah.
years of staff. So if you served for Congressman Bartlett, could you all raise your hands?
Okay, I do want to say something that Bob Dalton, Ross, you remember Theme Team? We had it every Thursday. Theme Team. Every Thursday, we would bring in a speaker.
That's right, I remember.
And Bob Dahl was speaking to us once, and he said, you know, sometimes it's not the big and the loftiest legislation you can pick up, but it's things that people really can connect to. The armed services, as you know, has always used canines and dogs, but many people don't know what happened to the dogs when they were out of service, and they euthanized them. So here are these wonderful dogs, highly trained, but when they got a little arthritis in their older age, they just put them down. Roscoe Bartlett, on a bipartisan basis, put an end to that through legislation. Also, he did this same, recognizing that the H research did not need live apes, put a lot of pressure on that. Did not get the bill passed, but the NIH, where you used to work, quit doing the practice, and it's because of him. But I'll close with this, Deb. There's one thing that unites Democrats and Republicans more than any other cause. It's not children's hunger, and it's not China. It's HOAs. Homeowners Association. And on our 250th birthday, if you live in a condominium and you decide to fly the American flag, you have that right because Roscoe Bartlett passed the bill that said you could do it. And the and if you served with Roscoe, come on up, Buck and Dan, Tony, for a photo.
Connie, you could come on. We're going to take a photo of all the members that are here with the Congressman real quick.
Let me stand up.
Sure? You want to do a race?
I'm fine.
Race around the Capitol?
I'm fine. A little unstable.
Nice to see you again.
Next to you, I'll be just great.
You look like you're 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. You on my other side. You take two pretty women.
Don't tell his wife. Just saying.
Kurt, if you could move a little bit that way, there we go. We can see your face, there we go.
There we go.
Let's sing happy birthday.
We are, yes. That would be the next thing. Would you like to lead us? Everyone got photos? Okay.
Roscoe for president.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roscoe. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
And you.
You did a great job.